I'm ready, man.
There's the window
What can I
down.
say?
And we're live.
And we're live.
So live. So
Yeah,
live.
man.
I don't even know what to do with myself. Yeah, I need my water, which is
Yeah. I'm ready, man. What can I say?
perfect. No, I have a water.
I've got soda because I'm healthy. I actually I went for a run today after work,
Yeah.
and like after you finish with the run, you just want to eat everything. So I just got like Chick-fil-A, all of the unhealthy everything, and just completely undid all the work I just did.
Hell yeah. That's what you
Oh
want.
yeah.
That's what you want.
Yep, that's what I did.
Ideal.
Yeah, yesterday I did the same thing too. I had pad thai. I had like a third of a bag of chips. I had
Ooh.
ice cream. I had cookies.
Ooh.
Yeah, man,
Sounds good.
it was good. But also, I'm like undoing all the work I ever did to get them. It's like not, I don't know.
That's all right. That's all right. As long as you're putting in work at all, right? Like it's okay.
I guess
You can
so.
mess it up
It's better
sometimes.
than it's better than not putting work
Right.
in and
You're doing
also eating
something.
like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
You're doing something
Yeah,
or anything at all, right?
I'm doing the thing.
So, I guess we should first tackle what happened last week.
Yes, we should.
Last week we were on the Suck It podcast, so
The
we didn't
Suck It
do a variety hour.
podcast.
However, here we are. We discussed doing a weird interim variety hour, didn't we? You and I.
We discussed it, and then that's all. That's as far as that
That's
went.
didn't go any further. Discussion.
No, obviously, because nothing happened on Saturday.
Right. Yeah, I remember talking about it, and then at about 8:30, I looked at my phone and I was like, you know what? I think we were supposed to do a podcast tonight. And then I didn't get any messages about a podcast. And I was like, I guess not. I guess we aren't doing that.
Yeah,
That's
I'm pretty sure. Well, I went to my parents' house on Saturday, and so
ah
I ended up looking at like 9 o'clock, and we were just hanging out talking, and I was like, "Oh, we were gonna do that thing," but no one said anything about it, so I guess it's okay.
yeah, no,
I guess
yeah.
it's fine.
I totally blanked on it until the end of the night. I was just like, it'll be okay. We did
Yeah,
a podcast. We did somebody else's podcast.
we did, and I enjoyed doing that. That was a lot of
That was
fun.
a lot of fun. Yeah, I actually think
Yeah,
that we should do a variety hour where we play a show at some point. That'd be kind of nice.
I think I would love to, like that kind of thing. Podcasts, live streaming shows. I think is a really nice way to get our music out during COVID and all that stuff. Because I mean, like, I wouldn't want to have a bunch of people come together if there's like a virus going around that's potentially deadly.
No, yeah, that's how
You
I
know?
feel too. Yeah, very much in the camp
Yeah.
of like, I'm not going to ask people out to a show for that.
Right. Yeah. Like if everyone's scared about it, I feel like that would just make people uncomfortable.
I mean,
You
I
know?
understand like people that are like, yeah, I still want to go out. All right, cool, more power to you. But I'm not going to be the guy to ask you to. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah. I think people should have the freedom to make that decision. But
That's on you.
if they're, yeah, you just have to understand that there is that risk. You know?
And one that I am not willing to take. I mean, the other thing too is like the bar band thing as like a up and coming band isn't the most healthy or hygienic thing. Like we're already kind of in close corners with one another. We're already kind of sharing microphones most of the time. Like it's a pretty bad gig. It's not
I
really
mean,
the
yeah.
best health wise.
Hygienically speaking, there's probably so many activities that we never even thought twice
Yeah,
about. And
yeah,
now we're going to go back to these things, like maybe, after things calm down or something happens, we're going to go back to a whole bunch of activities and be like, oh my
I don't know if this is
gosh, this is
cool.
so unsanitary.
Yeah,
I don't know if we should do that.
carrying Lysol wipes everywhere and using rubber gloves, like
I know, like if I do a drum share with someone, like I'm gonna like wipe down their
wiping
bass
everything
drum.
down. Like, oh my. Where were
My,
your feet? Where could they have been?
keep your germs to yourself, you whatever. I was gonna say leftist, but
Then you're like, wait, that implies leftists can get germs only. That doesn't actually make sense scientifically.
yeah. Now, politically speaking, I would have to say that to the right wing person, I
Yeah,
guess. I
I
don't know,
guess so.
given the climate, the
I
current political
guess, yeah.
climate. Oh my God, it doesn't matter what. It's a
Wear a
circus, dude.
mask. Wash your hands.
I know, and just live your life, dude. That's all it
Oh my
is.
god.
Oh, I love that dog,
Ellie, want to say hi?
Ellie.
Come here. Hey, Ellie. Oh my god.
Ellie, can you hear me?
Ellie the dog. Oh, don't lick my. I think she can, but she's not paying any attention to you.
She doesn't care at all. She's got her dad there.
Yeah, I know.
Who
What are you
cares
doing?
about a funkle when you've got a dad?
I think she wants to go out. Tackle that dog.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would love to do another performance on live streams. I think that'd be a cool regular thing we could do.
I think so. I think
Honestly,
so.
probably we're going to see more bands doing stuff like that as they realize that doing live shows is not coming back anytime
It's
soon.
really funny that like a year ago I brought up to you the idea of like, man, we should really look at the possibility of doing an online type streaming show type thing because
Yeah,
I feel
we've
like we
talked
could get
about
a lot
that.
of people invested in it and maybe they would be into that kind of
Yeah,
thing and then we were like, let's see what happens.
yeah, and then we were
And then
like,
here
let's
we
look
are.
at let's find a way to find more live shows.
Yeah.
That was a thought then. Yeah.
Yep.
Though I will say, nothing can replace the exhilaration of playing in front of a crowd.
Honestly.
Like
Honestly. I felt that though a
that's
little bit when we were doing a live stream, but it wasn't the same.
oh yeah, I mean it's fun to play like that, but no, it's not close. Like I'm thinking about the Auto Bar. That was one of my favorite
Oh,
shows
that was a
to
great
play.
show. That was a great show.
It was
There's
a
a lot
great
of
show.
great video of us playing that show.
Oh really?
Yeah, I have quite a bit from people that kind of stuff like after the gig was over, and I have stuff from other bands that were taking video. They said we sounded really good that night. I could hear myself really
Yeah.
well for most of the gig. It was a good show. Auto Bar's a great place to go to the Auto Bar. This is the once revealed stamp of approval for Auto Bar. We also made some good friends that night. Like a bunch of other bands that night were really cool.
Yeah, yeah. And my friend James came out, and that was really cool of him.
Yeah,
I was really happy about that.
yeah. And I met a band that was there that really liked us, and they chatted me up for like 20 minutes and asked us all about the stuff that we did, and I knew
Nice.
0% of anything that you guys owned except my stuff, so I felt like an idiot. So if you're out there, get on in here. I was like, I
Well,
don't
it's
know
funny.
anything that they're using.
Yeah, dude, when we were at that show, I actually ran into someone that I knew from like, I refer to it as my previous life, when I lived in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I was growing up, and he was someone that like I knew through church or something.
Hmm.
And him and his brothers were also involved in music. They had their own band. They called themselves the Band of Brothers,
Oh, that's cool.
which, yeah, yeah, and they're all really talented type of people. And I look up there, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that guy. I know him. That's Luke.
How do I
What?
know him? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was really weird, but it was pretty cool running into him. And he actually remembered me too. I was like, oh, cool, thank God,
That's
because that'd
cool.
be awkward.
Yeah, that'd be super awkward.
Oh yeah,
Who are you?
I've totally done that before.
Oh no.
Like, because I'm good with faces, right? I'll remember people's faces really, really clearly,
Hmm.
typically. So I see a face and I'm like, oh, I know that person. But then like I go through the whole debate in my head, like, wait, do they remember me? Do they remember me well enough to merit me saying hello? Because I always want to say hello most
Right.
of the time.
Same. Yeah.
And I guess that depends. I don't know if that's always true. Maybe that's not true. But if I'm in a good mood, if I'm at my
I
best, I
most of
want
the
to say
time
hello.
want to say hi. Most of the time.
Yeah, yeah. But then I'm like, do they know me well enough? Are they like, on friendly terms in their own head about
Right.
me? Yeah, yeah. Will they take it wrong if I say hello to them? Did I do something mean to them
Right.
last time I saw them? Which is probably a no,
It's
because,
super funny
you
though
know,
that you like didn't even expect to see him there, and then he was just like there. Like,
oh yeah, just a like a seemingly random person from my past.
yeah,
It just happened to be at this place, and I just happened to see him there. You
that's
know,
cool.
yeah, I'm
Fate,
pretty sure
as
there's a
it will
drummer
have it.
there.
What?
Huh?
I said fate,
Oh, I was gonna.
as it will have it.
There's a guy there who got thrown out of the auto bar.
Oh my god, what? Really? Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The one of the other drummers that played there, he's a pretty well-known drummer, but apparently he got into like a verbal thing with one of the workers, and they just like asked him to leave, which is not as exciting as like getting into a fist fight and being literally thrown out.
Yeah, but
But
it's pretty close.
yeah, and I saw him at
Pretty
that
close.
joint. I was like, ah,
I feel like that place would get rowdy if there were a lot of people in there.
oh yeah, I bet it'd be
Feels like
great.
a
I mean, there's some good
warehouse.
bands to play.
Like,
Yeah. Well, the seats up on the upper level were like old, what, bus seats or
Bus
something?
seats or something, yeah, or train seats or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're all tore up. Yeah, I really enjoyed that place though. That place was cool.
You gotta take her out, hon.
She's bothering you. Yeah.
But she's just a furry
Yeah, I love
menace.
that dog. Yeah.
She's the trash goblin.
Nice.
Uh, trash goblin because she thinks she
Well,
was a
you know,
possum.
I
Much as she.
apparently possums behave similarly to cats.
I'm into it. That's cool. Let's get pet possums.
Dude. Yeah. They've got that like ugly cute thing going on.
The ugly cute. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, close it, close it. Oh, God.
Apparently a bug is broken in. Now we wait as the saga continues. You guys good over there? Okay, there's laughing. We're good. They're okay. I think they're okay. I hear joyful sounds. I think that means they're okay.
There's a frog in the house.
A frog, you say? You know, if you were a magician, you could swallow the frog and regurgitate it outside.
Oh my God! Damn it! It's underneath the It's so annoying. Ah!
Come on, Ellie, just hunt the frog. Find it. We lost audio. Looks like. I can't hear them now. Well, it's just me now, having a solo podcast as they chase after the elusive frog. If they kiss the frog, he'll become. What'll it become? If he kisses the frog, what would it become in a modern context? It wouldn't be a prince. We don't really have princes. A good senator? Well, that would be what it is. You kiss a frog and it becomes a decent senator. Because we don't have any of those right now, as it seems. Ugh. Dustin, I'm pretty sure it's Vern screaming like a girl more. You know, I think you're right. But, you know, it's kind of unclear. We don't know. Oh, hey, bud. Welcome back.
Let me
You know,
tell you. Let me weave you. Let me spin you a yarn, sir. Whew.
all right. So what happened? Tell me about it. Did you kiss
So,
it and became a senator?
here you see one Ellie the dog. Ellie the dog needs to go potty. However, when my girlfriend went to open the door to let Ellie the dog out, a toad hopped directly into the house. Not knowing what to do,
Love
she
it.
just jumped away from it, kind of mimicking the toad, I guess. And didn't
It's a
really know what
dangerous
to
thing
do.
to
So I
say.
went over there and I went to close the bigger door to like push it away and like just get it to like leave. But I realized when you
Yeah.
close the bigger door, it's just stuck between two doors at that point. So I needed something to like scoot it away, to like go away, get out of the house. As soon as I did that, it hopped over the broom end and just went underneath of an end table that I have right next to the door. I was like, well, now what do I do? So I grabbed the entire couch, pulled it completely away from the wall, had to take the broom and smack the fucking toad to get it away from like the inside of the house because it's like trying to jump into the house. And so I'm like, no, no, go away, get. So it jumped back away to the door, and I opened the door and I scooped him back out. Man, I didn't want to hurt him. Like, I'm just like, get out, go away, get.
The saga continues.
That was so scary. I was like, what? Why am I afraid of a toad? But it was just hopping everywhere.
I
You
mean, it's
hear
just a
her in the
toad.
background. She
I think,
squealed the first time, and I was like, "All right, I gotta mute the microphone." That's when I turned it off.
well, according to Dustin here, he was pretty sure it was you screaming
It
like a
was.
girl.
No, I did at least once for sure. It's fine. Just close the door. Don't worry about it right now. Ellie's not going out. Yeah, go lay down, dog. You'll be all right. Still, you need to learn how to kill toads. Just kidding. I don't want her to kill it. That'd be gross. She was,
That
dude.
would
She
be
was just
fun.
watching us like, look at the
She
fucking
was.
toads.
Like,
Yeah, she's just
I was
having a
like,
good
why,
old time.
why aren't you trying to eat the dog, like eat the frog? Like,
I really don't want her to.
Yeah, we try to have her like she checks everything.
I stand by my theory that if they kissed it, it'd become a decent senator. Just saying. But that's just my
That
own
was so
theory.
funny. That was so funny. Yeah. Yeah, no problem.
Vern, did you hear what I was saying?
No, what was that?
So you know that old thing where if you like, if you kiss the frog, it becomes a prince, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But we don't live in a monarchy, so like in this case, it would have to be something else, like a good senator,
Yeah, like a non-corrupt politician of some sort.
a non-corrupt politician, which we are in vastly short supply of.
We're in, yeah, just like Prince
Yeah, man,
Charming's, you know.
exactly. But yeah, I'm just saying you should have kissed the toad and it would become a senator, and with like okay
Kiss
policies.
the toad, it would have become a senator. Put
Yeah.
that on my tombstone.
Yes,
He kissed the
and he'll finish
toad
his
and
speeches.
became a senator.
He'll like do all
Yeah.
this awesome stuff. And thank you for being so well dressed. Thank you.
That's definitely the. We're gonna name the album that, I think.
I would love that. I think that would be
I
incredible.
think I think that's the best name so far, and I think I have an idea for the album cover, but I don't want to say it while we're on stream because I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me afterwards.
It's a
We can like,
very like Abbey Road meets Panic at the Disco meets. It's a good idea. I think you'll enjoy.
okay,
I think that's a
okay.
good. I think that's a good synopsis that'll get people like, what if they hear this? So
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe it'll involve that crazy sorcerer guy that from that one dream with the purple suit.
I have an idea for a shirt for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it like that shirt that's like a tuxedo, but it's like purple?
Oh, no, I meant like the picture that you made, like the one that you drew with the dude with like a big fucking cape and shit.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have like a
Cool.
shirt design that I think would fit really well with that. Like
Nice.
basically just taking the whole front end of a shirt and giving it that design, but then like fitting our name somewhere in there.
Yeah, man, that'd be like very Led Zeppelin-esque, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because that was partially the inspiration, I think,
Yeah.
for the idea without me realizing it
Right.
until like after I did it, and then I
Right.
looked at it, I was like, oh, that looks like the Hermit, doesn't it?
We can do a limited run of them or something.
Do a what?
Do a limited run of them or something.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Right.
I would like that. I would like to like maybe get some watercolor paint and like fill it in.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, then it'd be like almost like an animated
Are you
kind
gonna
of
do it like
picture.
that spillover style, where some of the colors are kind of running between the different objects and stuff?
I could do that.
That'd be
I
cool.
don't know yet.
That'd be cool.
I think that would be. But I think it would give it a different kind of life if it had color to it.
Yeah, it would for sure.
Alright. Now, the alien, should it be green or gray?
Ooh.
What do you think? Ooh.
Ooh.
I like something in me says gray would be
Gray.
a nice.
You gotta give them grays. It's all about the grays, man.
I guess so, yeah.
That's what they call them, right?
Grays.
Big
Oh yeah,
head.
is it?
Black eyes. They call them the grays. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Apparently, so I watched this is probably gonna sound kind of weird, but I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast and he had Bob Lazar on there.
Oh, I love that
Fuck.
one. The Bob Lazar podcast.
Yeah.
That's a great one,
That was
man.
intense. It's crazy, and
Bro.
you're like, okay, if this is legit, then this is definitely like the guy to listen to.
Yeah.
If this is a legit thing, this is the guy who would know.
Yep.
You know, and he said that. What did he say? It was like somewhere within it, in some documents that they had, they referred to the kids.
Oh yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that whole thing is weird too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Well, I guess that would mean that the aliens are really short.
I mean, I guess. You know what I mean? Or or something else. You know, I've always wondered, like, does that refer to something else about them, or is it like just their stature? You know what I mean?
Right. Or is it that they're actually like children aliens who like
Or they act childish, or there's something about their demeanor that makes them feel like they're working with children for some reason. I don't know. I've always postulated that when we read things like that it could just be like a misinterpretation of the words that were being given. Because I mean, a lot of people back then, they weren't thinking, well, people are going to be looking at this in 100 years and wondering what this is. That's only a really recent thing that we care a lot about how documentation's done, because we're like, this is going to be the preservation of our era. You know.
yeah. And what do you mean like what are you referring to?
So like for instance, not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but this is like one that's
Do it.
actually come up and like become
Yeah.
like a thing. In Roswell, there were a few police officers who made police reports, seemingly cataloging some actual wreckage and things to the spaceship that they said at the time. But then
Hmm.
but then after the fact that the government said there was no wreckage, like it was just a weather balloon, and like that's like a verifiable thing. Like a policeman definitely wrote in a report like there was wreckage of some sort. So like his version of wreckage and what the FBI considers wreckage were obviously two different things if there was no spacecraft there. You know what I mean? And so that's what I mean is like
Right.
the misinterpretation of what somebody could write could very well be the reason we see it as this thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Just kind of a mistake
Right.
of
Not
like
even
the
an
guy saw
intentional
yeah,
one. It just
it's wreckage,
happens.
but like it's wreckage, but from a weather balloon or a balloon
Right.
wreckage. Like that's all it was.
Right.
You know,
But
that
he
could
made
be.
it sound a lot more grandiose than that, and that's where a lot of the misinterpretation comes from about what happened there.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. I actually went to Roswell
Yeah. How was it? See any little
for
green
history.
men? Sorry, little gray men.
Well, I mean, there were figures of green men all over the
Yeah.
place. I mean, everything about that town is
Yeah.
modeled
They know
off
what they're
after the
doing.
whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. They
Oh
bought
yeah,
into it pretty hard.
they made bank off of it.
Hell yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, it was probably just a
Is
small
that the
little town
aliens
at the
landing on
time.
your roof? Is that what that was?
I wish. No, it's just
Right. That's what
rain.
I'm like, man. Where are they?
Yeah. Well, like it just kind of did it for like 2 seconds, then stopped.
uh,
So I don't know what's happening.
aliens. It's the
Aliens.
aliens.
Yeah, it's the aliens, man. For those of you who like just hopped on to watch this, and we're currently talking about aliens. All right, so there it is.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
just throwing that right out there. We're talking about aliens.
Yeah,
It's alien talk
yeah,
night.
we're talking about aliens. We're talking about aliens.
It only
Yeah.
took me and Nathan. What minute are we on?
Minute? We're on minute.
26 minutes for us to get to aliens fully. Probably earlier than that. It was probably like 20 minutes we got on aliens.
We were hinting at it earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, we sure were. Yeah.
So speaking of aliens,
so
do you want to hear my master plan here? I hope somebody hears this and is like gonna run with
you
this,
have
because
a
I'm always gonna
plan
forget about this.
aliens? I want to hear.
You ready for this, man? I got this idea. What happened here? So there's this thing. I'm about to talk about this for the 8th time. I feel like Aramar's just gonna yell at me. Like, what the fuck? No, but so there's this fast
Worldwide sip on the Lord's soda.
right. There's this fast radio burst thing that we get, right? Like, have you ever heard FRB 121102? You ever heard it?
No, no, I don't know what that is.
Oh man! All right,
FRB
hang on.
1102.
I'm gonna pull it from YouTube and I'm gonna send you the video. I'm gonna let you see what it is. It's this fast radio burst that comes pretty much like on time, pretty frequently, and
Oh, fast radio burst.
yeah, coming from space somewhere.
Yeah, okay, no, I have heard of that. I thought you said versts, and I was just
Yeah.
like, what? This is like a song or
Oh
something?
no, yeah.
No, okay, so this is burst.
I'm
Fast
just
radio
gonna-
burst.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the thing here and I'm just gonna send it to you, so that you can see the exact video I'm talking about here. But I'm gonna throw it in the chat. It's this one here. So I have this theory on this thing, right? So
Okay.
I don't know the numbers to use here. I don't really understand what I'm doing so much as I have a theory on this. If you watch the
Okay.
video and listen to the way that those things sound once they're like slowed down, to me it sounds like if you were playing back some sort of data file in an audio format. It sounds less like random noise to me and sounds like there's some like design to what's being done there. And the main reason why I say this is because at one point in the middle of it, you'll hear it goes through our 7-tone scale like perfectly. And it's kind of interesting.
Really?
Like, and it does it twice. And it's really, or 3 or 4 times really, I guess, because it keeps going through octaves of it. And it does it really perfectly. And it freaked me out because I was like, that's a little bit much. You know what I mean? Like that's
I I've got it on right now. Can you hear it?
yeah, yep. All right, so that's the fast version. That's the slow. That's the a little slower.
Okay.
This is a little slower. Hear it? You hear
I
it?
hear it.
Isn't that weird? You listening?
That is weird.
Wait till the next one. It gets even freakier. This one's pretty cool
Is it
because
like
there's a lot of chirping and stuff, but
it's gradated? You know, it's not like a constant slide
it's
down. It's like
it knows
it's
what
like
it's
points.
doing. Yeah, it's like really specific. Any musician would get that immediately from hearing that. And that's what I was like, "Oh Lord, what is this?"
All right, here it comes. Yeah, it sounds like chromatic scale.
It
Like all the
is.
half steps going down.
Yeah, with all the half steps going down. So I guess it's a 12 tone, but it hits all 7 like perfectly on the way. And I'm like, "Ooh, like that's almost like an intelligent thing. That's almost intelligently designed. That's almost like a almost specific like, hey, we know this too. How you feel about it? You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool to me. And I don't know what that means or if there's any like more data to be gleaned from that. But it's a fast radio burst. So there's a lot of information compressed in a very short amount of time. There sounds like there's a lot of static in there, but I wonder if the static is like noise floor reference. And I'm wondering if the beeps are like data levels. And we don't know if they communicate in the same level of like binary as we do. So if it was somebody communicating, could be in some other version of waveform communication. It doesn't have to be square wave. It could be something else. And so that's where I'm like, I don't know, man. Could be anything.
Hmm.
Freaks me out, dude.
The main reason why I say this is because
Sorry, I went back to the live feed and then I heard you talking.
Heard me talking about it, yeah. But yeah, that's my that's my sort of theory on it. Is like it could be like an image data or a video or something we're being sent, or maybe even an audio file that needs to be decoded because it's a lot more information, but you know, sped up and compressed into this tiny little thing. I reckoned the idea of it being an image file from. Have you ever listened to the Voyager spacecraft golden discs? What they sound like on each of the 2 sides. The one side is like greetings from Earth in a bunch of different languages, and like songs and stuff, and sounds of Earth, like water rushing and some animal noises.
Don't they
and
have
such.
Chuck Berry on there?
Yeah, Chuck Berry's on there. Blind Willie Nelson's on there. There's like a bunch of cool stuff that they put on there. But the other side is like data, and it sounds like "Meow, boop, meow, boop," and that's like, I don't know, that's a really fun representation of it. But that's basically what it sounds like. It sounds like noise floor bullshit, and then a couple beeps for reference. And I'm assuming because it's very low quality, it's like 8-bit, you're going to only have a couple reference beeps for quality. But if you were in higher resolution, I imagine there'd be a lot more reference beeping, right? There'd be a lot more beep, 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 beep. I want to know what our high resolution imagery sounds like when it gets sent back to us. And is it similar to that? And is that why we don't know what that sounds like? Because that would be very uncomfortable if that's what that turned out to be.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. I mean, that definitely sounds like it was an ordered kind of sound in that video.
It seems a little
Yeah.
too specific to me.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing that's cool that reminded me of instantly. And I would have to find it. I don't know where I found it exactly, but some guy did research or he performed some kind of experiment with crickets. And what he did is he took audio recordings, really high quality audio recordings of these crickets chirping.
Mm-hmm.
And then he slowed it down by a crazy amount,
Okay.
the sound of their chirping. And what you ended up with was what sounded like an angelic chorus singing tri-part harmony, singing 3-part harmony, like beautiful triadic chords going through like a choir singing beautiful calming music.
Whoa.
And that was the chirping of crickets that was slowed down by this insane amount. Right? And that's just kind of a natural occurrence.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense because, you know, when you have the way that harmony sort of developed was based off of the overtone series, which is essentially a set
It's
of
ratios and frequencies, right?
it's yeah, ratios of frequencies that resonate sympathetically with the fundamental tone,
Right.
right? And so, so that's as you move up the overtone series, you end up with all these different extensions of chords. So you start out with like, the octave, right, which
Right,
is
right.
just like the same note. It's because that wave cuts the other wave in half, so it's perfectly consonant, right? And then you have well, I mean, it's what my tattoo
Right,
is,
right,
right?
right. Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah. Yep.
onyx, and it shows the way that you have these ratio breakdowns of
Go
the
go a little
things.
higher with it. Bring it up a little higher.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah.
There you
And
go.
you can see where it gets cut in half. There's another wave that cuts it into thirds. There's another one that cuts it into quarters.
Right. And that's the
The
ratios, the
problem now,
perfect, the strong ratios anyway, right?
they're the strong ratios. Those are the ones that we perceive as being consonant.
Right.
The more uh, the more odd the ratios get, or the more complex the ratios get. Sorry, that's when you hear it more dissonant. That would be like a 27 to 26 ratio would be like a really dissonant
Very
two notes
dissonant.
sticking
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Right. So I wonder if how many sounds within nature are consonant in some kind of way or ordered in that kind of way to where, they appear to be ordered by a person, but they're sort of a natural outgrowth of some natural phenomenon. Now, the thing about a chromatic thing is that that's from the even tempered scale that Bach came up with.
Right.
Because if you followed this natural process, if you tried to switch keys, like if you had a keyboard, for example, and you're playing a tune that's in C major, right, and you use this natural tuning system, if you tried to switch all of a sudden to some other key, all the ratios would be off because they don't line up in half steps the way that we have
The way
music line
the
up.
way you expect them to. Yeah.
Right, exactly. They don't line up that way. So they had to like adjust things so that it traveled
Until
up by it.
eventually.
Yep. And so then you can play in all 12 keys, which is really important. That's why Bach came up with it, because in Baroque music they did a lot of keys changing and stuff. So they needed something to do that. So what that clip that you sent me was doing was like an evenly tempered chromatic descent. And that's what seems a bit unusual because that's not necessarily natural.
That's what I was saying. That's why I'm like, I just feel so specifically designed. You know what I mean? Like something that we
Right.
took so long and so much deliberation as a human species to get to, that I'm like, that feels like it was like a specific, like, hey, we know you get this. Like, this is
Right.
something we can talk about. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
like, that seems really specific to me. It felt like a hand reaching out when I listened to it the first time. I was like, whoa, man, that's fucking deep.
Wait, it felt like a hand reaching out?
That was my first thought hearing that, like, sort of like just chromatic feeling. Yeah, it was just like, whoa, man, like holy shit, something else might know the idea of music out there. That's fucking nuts. I've always thought, humans might be weird because we're into this rhythmic thing, but like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, nature's really into it too, huh? Like,
Are Yeah, you've got circadian rhythms all throughout
yeah,
nature. You've got whatever the rhythm is. There's like a particular kind of rhythm to like the waves of the ocean.
right, right,
You know, things are evenly. I mean, when things just do things evenly with a expected pattern, like a bird, like a hummingbird flapping its wings is probably a very even, speed at which they do that,
yeah,
right?
man.
Rhythm.
Yeah, I listened to it the first time and I was just like, man, that fucked me up. I was like, what
Hmm.
if there was something else out there making music, like somewhere else out in the universe? How cool would that be? You know?
Well, that kind of lines up with the theory of mine about music, actually.
What's that?
I'm pretty sure I've told you about this
You probably
already.
have. Hit me with it again.
Yeah. Well, now the world will hear it.
Yeah, here we are. This is your moment.
So
This is your
basically,
shot.
this is I can put this beard to use. Everyone will see me as being smart and stuff.
You're
Yes.
Nate Stradamus.
uh, Nate Stradamus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a new one. Yeah, Nate
We've
Stradamus. I like
called you
that.
that so many times here in the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like your philosopher name for me.
Oh man, I'm honored.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
With my arrow shirt, yes. Spread my wings. Um, okay, so something that's true about music is that it's mathematical by nature.
Yes,
Naturally.
yes.
Because I mean, just the really obvious thing is when you look at time signatures You look at the way the rhythms break down, it's based on divisions and um, you know, fractions and things like that, which is, of course, in direct relation to time,
Right,
right? It's
right.
just a way of dividing time and measuring it. And that's a fairly straightforward mathematical look at it. But the more fascinating thing for me is the vertical axis. I mean, that's like the horizontal axis, right? That's x, yeah, as opposed to the vertical axis, which is pitch.
Right, right, right.
So that has all kinds of incredible, ratio relationship going on too. And I'm sure that there's some kind of relationship between that and, sacred geometrical concepts. Now, I don't know as much about that, but I know it's there
Ooh.
because that's also based on ratios,
Ooh.
relationships of.
Nathan, you could be onto something there. So one of the theories that I had running into this was we received that FRB as like a constant. That one comes back around every. Well, I guess it goes for 90 days, and then it
Hmm.
stops for 47, and then
Hmm.
it goes or stops for 50. Sorry, 57, and then it goes again for 90 days. So 147-day cycle total. And
Hmm.
so that I was wondering if those numbers play into it somehow. That would be an interesting give. I did find a couple interesting things from that where I believe 47 is prime for sure. Pretty positive anyway, right? It's 47 prime.
Names. Well,
Yeah,
how are
47 is
how are they
prime.
being? You said 47 days, and
It's
then
47 days. Sorry, it's 57 days, and 57 is prime as well.
hmm
No,
so.
it's not actually. Okay, never mind.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's
I was
surprising.
just thinking that when we measure in days, our day is kind of an arbitrary measure because it's only based off of the rotation of our Earth, as opposed to like the rest of space, which that amount of time is going to be different for every planet or different beings if there are, if the beings are out there or whatever,
Right,
right?
right,
Well,
right.
the important thing with that, there's an amount of time. They're not measuring it in terms of days, so maybe the number of days is not as important as the ratio of the amount of time that it occurs in. That's
Ooh.
so that ratio might be
So
important.
like
So the
90 to
number of
57.
right, yeah, like that could be a helpful endeavor, maybe, right? But you don't want
Maybe.
to put too much emphasis on the number of days because if it is
That's
coming
what I
from
was
something else,
wondering. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, days don't really matter. It's just an arbitrary measure of time. Lord Soda,
See what we get.
that's right.
Can be simplified to 3019. That's the only simplification though.
Hmm,
Hmm.
cool. I don't know what that means at all.
Yeah.
If someone out there is listening to this and they know that there's something about 3019, man,
Yeah, I got nothing
you
there.
do that.
Got nothing.
I got nothing. Got nothing.
Well,
Yeah.
cool.
But to continue my theory,
Yeah.
the ratios of the pitches of the wavelengths, right? They create all these, this whole tapestry of stuff. But so in other words, it's mathematical by nature. I'm sure you can use all kinds of functions to describe different phenomenon in music, in relationship to those two factors coming together, right?
Yeah.
Time and pitch. I'm sure there's like a bunch of stuff like that. So it's mathematical by nature. But for us, for people, when we perceive it, it transmutes meaning, which is different from math. Math describes in a prosaic way, and that's about all it's got, right?
Right.
It doesn't reach a poetic level of meaning.
Right. It is what it is. It's reality. Right. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's nothing else either. There's no abstraction. And the thing about abstraction is that it provides a more fundamental, deeper truth to things when it's an abstraction of something.
Right.
Well, no, hold on. I got a little twisted up there because numbers themselves are abstractions of natural phenomenon. But anyway, so what music does is it transmutes meaning the way that a language does, right? And it produces an emotional reaction because it communicates some kind of um, unspoken idea that we can perceive in our mind, and then that idea in the mind produces that emotional reaction, right?
Right, right.
So it seems like music is sort of an amalgamation of both mathematics and language. Like it uses the functions of both of those things together. It's the thing that ties those two things together in a unique way,
Good way of looking at
right?
it.
Yeah, well, and the way that I would research this, because I would love to research this if I was a Mr. Professor man, I would
Right.
want to study that. But I'd have to get really good at math and also really good at linguistics and also psycholinguistics because you have to look at the way that the brain perceives um, language and understands meaning in language, which takes all kinds of uh, frickin' um, understanding of what's that frickin' word? Parsing. The way that we parse like language up, right?
Right,
Which
right.
I looked just a little bit into it. There's all kinds of stuff about that, and
Oh,
there's
it
like
goes deep
lexical.
too. It goes really
It's
deep. There's a lot.
right. There's so much to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what that would take. But that being the case, if there are other things out there that perceive meaning and are able to perceive, you know,
Individual meaning too.
yeah, I mean, that would be the way to bridge the gap between two disparate species. Because, I mean, mathematics, I feel like, would be a sort of commonly understood thing. Not in the same way that we understand them, but as like,
Right.
you know?
It's why we like on the Voyager disk we included like the once in a billion year hydrogen transition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like because that's like supposed to be something any elementary level chemistry like student would know. Like even like another species would know hydrogen does this once in a million years just because of mathematics. So like
Hmm.
that's just the way it is. Statistically, it has to do like I just like
Hmm.
it's so cool when you look into like the stuff that they included on there, like as a way of trying to like explain. Like they explain our 10 base system with like just a bunch of symbols.
Yeah,
Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
that is really cool. It's like you're trying to find the most fundamental things that we understand and see if they also understand it.
Yeah, they also like use like a star map that was based on like showing like the distance and direction from a bunch of different pulsars and quasars, so that like they
Hmm.
would be able to
Yeah.
look at them and see what like the rotation of that particular quasar was, and then go based on that to go okay, well if they're seeing it at this repetition, they're seeing all of these ones at these repetitions, then it must be there. Is like the idea. Pretty cool,
Hmm.
cool idea. And I actually the other night I was like reading about quasars and reading about how they do that. They have like these repetitions that are very specific and they're at very specific intervals. I was just like, man, we could use those as timekeeping devices. We could like point lasers at those bitches and just get like infinite time from them, couldn't we? But then like I was like at the same time I was like, man, we could also use that to give people our location. Then I googled it and found out they did that in the 70s. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, it sucks because like whenever you think of something really cool like that, you're like, wow, I can't believe I thought of that thing. You can probably assume that someone else thought of it
Yeah, I
too.
immediately thought that it had already been thought of, but I immediately Googled it and found out that I was just, yep, I was wrong.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. But then you kind of feel good. You're like, oh man, I came up with a smart
Right, I
thing,
was
and it did.
intuitive. I got to that solution on my own somehow, just
Yeah.
on the back of ideas that I knew. So like, at least I've caught up with 1970s scientists, right? Like that's pretty cool.
You're getting there, man. It's got another, oh my God, 50 years.
Yeah, give me another 50 years of science to catch up on.
Yep. And we'll be in 2070, and
Yeah,
you'll have caught up 2020.
yeah,
You'll know a little bit about quantum mechanics, and
yeah.
we'll have figured it out.
Watch in 2070, I'm gonna wake up one day and just be like, hydroxychloroquine. 2020 science.
Just blame the other side.
It's all the other side's fault.
It's all the other side's fault. Doesn't matter what side you're on, it's the other side's fault.
That's what we did in the army, right? It was blame the distant end.
What was it?
Blame the distant end. Yeah. In
Uh,
communications, there's always two ends, right? It's you and then the distant
yeah,
one. It's always their fault.
it's always their fault.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it's like people have taken that to be their philosophy of life.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a new thing though. That's pretty common. People have been
Oh,
doing
I
that for
know.
a long time.
I mean, people. I think people have always done that. It's
Yeah,
just the classic idea of projection. You know, individuals project their own like weaknesses and vulnerabilities and uh, worse attributes and just take it and put it onto other people.
a hundred
You
percent,
know,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like the reason that they see it so readily in that other person is because they actually see it about themselves, and that's why
yeah,
it makes them so mad.
yeah. And I wish people could be more realistic about that kind of thing, but that's never happening.
Yeah. Well, it takes a lot of like mature honesty to like look at yourself and say, "Oh man, I'm doing that thing. That's not cool."
Right,
You know?
right. Or
So,
recognizing that you absolutely don't know enough about something. That's hard for a
right,
lot of people
yeah.
to do.
It's hard to admit that, especially when you're like me and you have an intellectual superiority complex.
Look at what you've done. Look at what
I
you've
know,
done to Nate's genius.
for real.
Oh,
No,
I scared the
not
dog
to say
off.
that I am smarter than other people. I just think I am, and that's a problem.
That's funny. No, I always feel like I'm dumber than everybody around me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think I've like definitely compensated hard for that same feeling, by trying to sound real smart about stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I feel like I've done that at some points in time, but most of the time I just feel dumb. I'm just like, well, that's cool.
right.
Get the
Yeah.
dog barking up at me here. So check this out, man. I got a new thing that I feel like you need to check out specifically because you would like
Zoom?
it. Yeah. So remember, like forever
Dude,
ago, I
that's
talked
not
about getting
Zoom.
like a handy recorder.
Man, I'm gonna use Zoom for all my meetings, Vernon. I already have Zoom.
It's not the same
It's
Zoom. It's
old news,
okay. It's
bud.
a different type of Zoom.
Okay.
Check this thing out.
No. Okay.
Hang out. Look at that.
Well, that looks important.
It's fairly, but hang on. It gets cooler. It gets cooler.
What's it
This
do?
is the part that I thought was pretty cool. Oh, you'll understand in just a moment when you see what's going on it. Ta-da! It's a
Oh,
handy
I see a
recorder.
microphone.
Yeah, it's a handy recorder. So basically,
Oh.
it's a 4 channel plus a microphone, LNR, handy recorder. So technically, one of these is all you would need to do like drum recording if you wanted. You could pick up like this or the cheaper version of this, which has like 4 tracks but is less or lower quality. But they're
Yeah.
pretty sweet. I got this for like 300 something, 330 or something like that. But they're very cool in that, like I said, they're 4 tracks. So you can literally just input. There's two
Wow.
inputs on the side there, two inputs on the other side there, then the microphone up at the
Hmm.
top, and then it's got the 4 dials on the front that controls everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we could put the whole
Wait,
band
input.
through one
So,
of
so,
these. Like literally at rehearsal, we could just plug the band into one of
so,
these.
so you plug in the other microphones into it, and it takes it into it.
Yeah,
So it's like a handheld mixer, basically.
kind of. Yeah, pretty much. And it's got like the 4 channels. They're all here on the front. Yeah, 4 channels plus the L and the R. It's pretty sweet, man.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you could like really easily record like a rehearsal and get
Yep.
decent okay sound at least.
Yep.
Dude, that's
Right.
cool.
That's I'm like. Right. That's I'm like. Yeah. Let's do
Yeah.
it. I'm thinking like next Tuesday when we come back in, I'm gonna bring this in and do a little recording with it and see what we can get out of it. This might
Yeah, get a little
become like
experiment.
a go-to thing for me in general because I'm looking to get into sound design, and these are really good for
Mhm.
making field audio recordings. So
Nice.
yeah, this guy paired with a handy little furry sock makes for makes for quite the business. Yeah, it's pretty sweet,
Yeah.
man.
Wow.
Yeah, you should definitely look into they have like the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. This is the H6.
Mm-hmm.
The H8 just came out recently, and it's unbelievably good. But like it's super high quality.
Mm-hmm.
It's like unnecessarily high quality for what we're up to.
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
that's some That's some pro level stuff there. That's insane. But it's also
Yeah.
not that much more expensive than this. So like, well, I can't shy people away. Every time I talked about it, I'm like, just get the 8 if you want, I guess. There's
Yeah,
no reason
really.
not to.
Wow. Yeah, I look forward to seeing what that sounds like whenever
Oh,
you do
dude,
plug it up.
I have played with it a little bit just to get like decent audio, just to see what it sounds like, and oh man, it's great. Like I have this pair of headphones that came with and stuff that I'm running with, and man, it's awesome. It's really unbelievable the kind of audio quality you can get out of this.
Nice.
Pretty exciting. Pretty exciting stuff. I want to definitely try it in the studio, like with some good microphones and see what it sounds like. But the other thing with it too is it has phantom power built into it. It has like a AC adapter you can plug into the wall, like so you don't have to
wow.
run it, off battery power all the time, but it can be run on battery power, so you can like run around outside with it and stuff. Really sweet.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I feel like what you could do is, well, how would you set up the 4 mics?
Like basic rundown would be, um, yeah, you would be most of the room mic, right? Because you're playing drums, so it's very loud. So
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna take up a lot of that on your own. But you would get an overhead just like normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'd be 2 guitars and a bass.
What about vocals?
We wouldn't have that. That would just be for instruments. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We could do
Gotcha.
or we could do vocals with it. I don't know how to. I guess we could do everybody into another mixer for vocals, and then dump us into a
And
single
have
channel that way.
some-
That would
Yeah.
work.
That would work.
Or dump both the guitars. Well, I guess I could dump both guitars into a single channel too. That could work too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to figure that out, but good question.
Yeah. You could have the three. You could have the 3 vocals and the 2 guitars go to a mixer, and have the 2 channels coming out go into that little guy.
Basically, yeah.
One one for bass and 1 overhead for drums.
Right.
Or instead of an overhead, I saw a video where a guy was talking about how you would mic a drum set using just a few microphones, and
Like
like
the
I
cardioid
think
between the hi-hat, the snare, and the kick.
yeah, like kind of
Yeah.
where your right knee goes.
Yeah, it works pretty well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So it could be that too, as
Yeah,
long as it don't hit.
that's a pretty useful way to do it. I did that in one of my first bands when I was very, very young. One of my first recordings that I ever did, and it had decent drums. Like compared to all the other instruments, the drums sounded really good. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I saw this guy do that in his video, it sounded like real decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we could
That's one
totally
of the
do
things I
that.
feel like you don't figure out until you're just toying around with it for a long time. Like, what would it be if I just tried to use one microphone?
Yeah, where's a good place? And then you just try it all kinds of places, on the
Yep.
floor, overhead, to your
Yep.
right, to your left, behind you,
Yeah.
you know,
So
sitting in your
eventually you find
crotch.
some weird spot that it's like, wow, okay, cool. I got some of the kick, most of the snare,
Yeah.
a little bit of the hi-hat.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm excited about the song coming out.
Me too. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I love that song.
Me too.
Every time I've played it for people, they like it too.
Yeah, I'm particularly excited. It was a weird song for sure from the very beginning, and so like I'm excited to see what people think of it. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the fact that it's a weird song, I think, is making it so appealing.
I hope so. I think
Yeah, well,
I
'cause
think it's fun. It's just a lot of fun to play for me too. Like I don't know. When I was initially writing the different bits of it, like I never ever expected all the parts to come together and be so cool. And I have a recording on my phone of me playing like the original version of it on acoustic guitar, and it's
Mhm.
basically the same format. Like the song isn't that much. The 8-bar measure where like Scott does his guitar solo, like that, even that section is in the song. Like I even played that part and like didn't do anything else with it. And I was just like, wow, check that out. This song basically had the same structure from the beginning to the end. Like,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's got a nice straightforward structure, which
it's a
is
rock
really
song,
cool.
yeah. It's very much a rock song.
Yeah. It is very much a rock song. But then so, I've listened to a good bit of Jimi Hendrix lately,
Yeah.
and what I've noticed, Well, actually about Black Sabbath too, oddly enough. Those two bands like in their earlier days, or well, Black Sabbath in the 70s,
Hmm.
the drummers for those groups, they played like swing drummers playing for a rock band. You know, so I
That's
mean, Mitch Mitchell for Jimi Hendrix definitely was a jazz drummer, and then
absolutely.
played for
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix, and you can hear that very, very obviously. But even Bill Ward in like the 70s, you know, if you listen to certain things, it sounds like big band licks,
Yeah.
except, you know, the drums are tuned differently and, you know, whatever. But like, especially for like Fairies Wear Boots, that's like hardcore swung.
That's
And so
true. Yeah.
this song is kind of echoing that same kind of sentiment. And I was thinking to myself, man, these guys have this like free and easy kind of style, like a jazz drummer, except it's really heavy also, and, you know, really drives. But it's not like the way you hear these hyper measured progressive metal drummers, you know?
You know, I just thought
I
of when you
felt,
said fairies wear boots.
yeah,
The
what?
time that we saw that cover band play fairies wear boots, but outside
They
of the
could
swing,
like,
they played it straight.
well, they didn't decide to. It was like
Well, he didn't
he,
decide to. That's the
he
quote of
didn't
the
decide
year.
to.
Well, he didn't decide to. He just didn't know any fucking better. That's what Nathan wanted to
Yeah.
say.
I mean, he did it. They did a great job with everything else. Everything else was fine,
Every other song was
but
even amazing. They played some really fucking difficult music that night, but
oh
that was a
yeah,
weird one to
Uh,
fuck up. I'm gonna be honest.
and that's because it just wasn't swung, man. There was no swing in it. You got to play like a swing guy.
That shit was so funny. I thinking back on that, I was just like, what a fun night. I got a little tipsy that night too.
Hmm.
That was one of those nights.
Yeah, that was a good night. I remember that. The old soundstage.
I hear her over there. She a little tipsy, fucking absinthe.
Nice.
You know me. That's too funny, man. That's another one I want to do, like immediately. We need to record Still Waiting.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that today. I was thinking like there's two songs that we need to record, Still Awaiting and Lost in Transition.
Yeah, I would love to hear those two on an A side B side single.
Ha! Yeah, that'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's like those two songs. I wonder which one we should do like first of those two. I think we should just go ahead and start tracking stuff for that so we
probably.
can keep the momentum going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But like as far as which one gets released first, I'm not sure. Not 100% sure.
I'm torn to say the least.
Yeah, I feel like we're just gonna have to like decide on one and just roll with it.
Let's do Lost. That's what I think is gonna happen. Anyway,
I
my
think I was
money's on
leaning
Lost.
I think I was leaning towards Lost myself.
Yeah, I'm betting the other two are gonna lean towards Lost too. So
I'm thinking so, yeah.
yeah, so it sounds like Lost in Transition is gonna be the single after the next two singles. So that's a
Yeah.
fun revelation to have right now.
Well, that's good because that means we've got Enjoy the Show coming out, and then we're gonna have Slight Delay coming out like sometime after that,
Right, right.
and then we'll have two more in the pipes ready to get out.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I really do
that's
think it'd
pretty
be funny to release those two together as a single, though.
yeah. Oh my gosh, talk about opposite songs. You're talking about our most ballady, radio-friendly song that we have compared to the most harsh,
We'll
thrash,
put it on a
unfriendly
two
song.
song single, and we'll call it Polar Bears.
Bipolar Bear.
Bipolar Bears. That's right. Yeah, Bipolar Bears.
Yep.
It's so
Oh
accurate
man.
though. It makes so much sense for that.
Oh, it does. It does. They're total opposites, and it's like we've got both of those things in us. Like we can be the like smooth, easygoing ballad rock band, but
I
then
always think of
also
us playing the whamp 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 whamp. We did that live now at least twice. Like,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah. I
shit was
think we should continue.
hilarious, dude. I was crying when we did that on stage, waiting for the shit to be set up.
Yeah, we do that every time. Well, it gives me a chance. Like I learned how to play a bossa nova. Well, actually, I learned how to play that in high school.
Yeah,
But it's one of the things that, like in your college jazz quartet, at some point you play a bossa or two, you know.
right.
and try to do it hip, but it's a bossa nova, so it sounds like elevator music no matter what.
It's so
So
funny. It's just so fucking funny to me. I love that. That's the best time killer ever.
it is. Yeah, actually, there are some bossa novas that sound good. Most people think of the girl from Ipanema, but there's some other ones that I'm sure out there that are good. If you have some good people playing it, then you can make it hip, kind of. Not like really amazing, but you can make it kind of good. It's like
I'll
all right.
I'll take that as a compliment.
That's all I can muster for bossa novas, honestly.
That's good. It's a compliment to bossa novas.
Yeah, complisol. Well, the reason that I know so much about it is because there's something called the rudiment ritual that
Right.
some drummers learn. It's something that Alan Watts came up with, and you play a bossa pattern on the bass drum and hi-hat with your feet, which is just an ostinato. It's just some pattern, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
yeah,
boom,
yeah.
boom, 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 just for like, and it takes about 20 minutes to play through this thing, and you play about it's like 85 different rudiments on top of that.
Uh,
Yeah, so you go through like paradiddles, you go in different types of paradiddle diddles, and you have like flam rudiments like flam taps, flam accents, Swiss harmony triplets, and um, then you have like flamadiddles and flam flams and like all this weird
I just
stuff.
feel like you're making stuff up at me right now.
It sounds like you're making it up, but honestly, these are real things
I
and they're
love it.
hard to play.
That's so funny to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, and there's
Flam
like
a
some other
flam
ones.
flams.
Yeah, all the rolls like six stroke rolls, five stroke like 1 through 17 rolls.
Salmon
Yeah,
rolls.
salmon rolls, avocado rolls, you know, California
The
rolls.
California rolls. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's where the bossa thing comes from. But
That's
really, you could do
amazing.
that over top of any foot pattern. It
Right,
doesn't
right,
matter.
right. It pretty much
Yeah.
feels that way. Feels kind of like elevator music.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Just
like
the
that's like I accidentally picked up a bossa nova record, and I didn't want it, but it was in the wrong sleeve. Like I thought I was getting Cannonball Adderley something or another, jazzy jazz or something. I
nope.
don't know, but then I took it out and it was Cannonball Adderley playing bossa novas. It's a whole
Uh,
album, of just freaking bossa. Like who wants that?
I,
Who likes that?
you now.
Oh, God, I guess I have to now. I have it. It's in my record collection. I have to give it its honorary role.
That's amazing. You gotta play it. Let's pay for the license fees to use that as our opening
I was about
song.
to ask, like, are we gonna get sued because we decided to play like some shitty bossa nova music over our our video stream?
It'd be
Oh,
amazing.
man.
It'd be amazing if we got DMCA'd for some shitty bossa nova from like the fucking 70s.
I know.
Some
Of
fucking
all
vinyl
the
cut in the fucking 60s or something.
yeah. Oh man, that's hilarious.
That'd be great. I actually would enjoy that. I would enjoy the legal battle with that because it would just be like meeting a bunch of old people who are really bitter.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be really funny.
Yeah,
Well,
if we could keep
it
this
probably would
litigation
be
going long enough, I think we'll outlive them.
yeah, or would it be some like record company executive with a suit and he's just like doing business and that's
Right,
all it is.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it's mine. Mine. I own the rights. Give me the money.
Yep.
Whatever, you're right, I guess.
All the profits we made off of this variety hour go to me.
All 6 cents.
Well, in that case, you owe me $5.
Damn it.
Ah, yeah. Gotcha. Ooh.
Yeah, real talk though, that's the only reason we're not doing music. If we could get away with it, we would, but I guess we could do
Yeah.
like we could play our music. I could put my lo-fi stuff. We could get
hmm
Will's band. We could do all that stuff. That'd be fine. But we would just have to have the write sheets written out already, and I would have to write out write sheets saying that I allow my music to be played on our streams. That if we DMCA'd, I can just send them the rights sheet and be like, "This is my shit. Sorry."
Yeah. Do that, or we could just like do mini performances of stuff.
Right? That's a good
Yeah.
idea
Like I've
too.
got a keyboard. I don't know how to play anything right now, but I
I
have
have
one.
a kalimba. Let's do it.
I have a marimba. So we've got the imba band going on.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
We're imbeciles. The
Yeah, what if
Kalimba
someone made a group
Marimba
called
band, the Imbeciles,
the Imbeciles? Someone did that.
with your lead
Kalimbas and
Imba
Marimbas.
Elmano and your sub Imba Armano.
Yeah. Wow. El Mano Armano.
It's hilarious.
Should we explain that to people or just leave it alone?
I don't know.
Leave it alone. See if people ask us about it.
Yeah. Elmano, Armano.
El Mano Armano. Yes.
Well, we've been live for an hour. That was a quick hour.
It was a quick hour. Well, we got to talk about aliens. That's why.
Oh man, yeah. Time flies when you're talking about aliens.
I know it does.
You know, just like aliens, time flies for them.
Or does it? Or
Maybe
do
it
they
doesn't.
control it?
It does.
Maybe they travel freely amongst it.
Maybe they are time.
Well, according to Bob Lazar, if they have the technology to bend gravity, then they have the ability to do some weird stuff with time too.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
But either way, I think that this means that our time is up.
Is done. Yep.
We've been
We're
one
not-
half of Once Revealed.
Yep.
You've been
50%.
one half of good.
And we're only moderately well dressed.
Everybody's medium today. It's okay.
Yep. The side shirt I wear is extra medium.
Good night.